Let's move on. Tyrod Taylor. How about this? Well, there was so much talk about Mitchell Trubisky possibly becoming the quarterback in waiting for the Giants, the link to Brian Daboll, the offensive coordinator in Buffalo, there with Trubisky. Tyrod Taylor becomes the guy in New York, and I thought this was compelling. Now, and it's funny how you see the different numbers, and the numbers are important here. At first, yesterday, I saw 2 years, $17 million. And this is what happens. This is the reporters. You sell your soul one tweet at a time, reporters. People were reporting 2 years, $17 million. The truth is 2 years, $11 million, worth up to $17 million with incentives. And that's significant because Trubisky got 2 years, $14 million from the Steelers. Because the first thing I thought yesterday when I saw Tyrod Taylor, 2 years, $17, they're paying Tyrod more than the Steelers are paying Trubisky, and Trubisky's going to be the starter unless they draft someone. That something didn't seem right there. 2 years, 11 makes more sense. Now there's $6 million in play for Taylor if he can beat out Daniel Jones and get it done on the field. And I guess it would be fitting if one of these days Taylor is the guy who supplants the starting quarterback, because he's always the guy who walks through the door as the starter and then gets supplanted.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, he doesn't need Dr. Needle to strike. We don't want Dr. Needle to strike on Daniel Jones, though. Don't put the hex on him, all right? I think it's a great move by the New York Giants. You know, we discussed this a little last week. The Giants, they got to protect themselves a little. If, like, Daniel Jones doesn't play well, or if he does get injured, they got to have somebody here, Brian Daboll, Joe Shane. They're too smart to leave that position not addressed, especially in your first season. You want to get off to a good start. So I think it protects them that way. It also puts the poker behind Daniel Jones' butt, like we talk about sometimes. And I think that's fair in this situation. It's a big year for Daniel Jones. They shouldn't give him the fifth-year option. I don't think they want to. Make him prove it. We got to see what he is. So hopefully they can build the team. They made some moves on the offensive line yesterday. That should help out. Certainly, that's a good thing. And then you got a Tyrod Taylor that protects the team if something does happen to Daniel Jones. Definitely. I get a lot of people up in the New York area. Man, that's going to put a lot of pressure on Daniel Jones. It doesn't matter. The pressure's on Daniel Jones. I mean, this is it. It's the year's here, so it doesn't really matter who the backup is. And no matter who the backup is, if Daniel Jones doesn't play well, people are going to go, well, maybe we should put the backup in. And so that didn't really matter. So I thought it was a good move by the Giants brass here with this one.
And that 2-year deal, that's the hedge against the possibility of not using the fifth-year option on Jones and losing him after this season. They are not caught in a difficult spot.
Right.
If they don't pick up the option, Jones has a big contract year, and then they feel compelled to use the franchise tag or overpay him relative to the market to keep him. We'll just go with Tyrod Taylor if you're going to walk away. We at least have some protection if we enter that negotiation with Daniel Jones a year from now.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.